Well, good morning. It is June 6th, um, 2019. I would have been married 55 years today. What a horrible thought. Anyway, I just wanted to make this a 15-minute video and talk about what's going on. Uh, Years ago, uh, I I was targeted in 1996, 7. It was December 96, 97. And um, the reason I was targeted, as many know, is because um, I objected to the building of golf course on the watershed for the water in Peabody because Peabody's water was atrocious. It was brown, foamy, and stinky. Came out of your faucet. If you took a shower, you never knew what you were going to be hit with, regular water or this crap coming out of the faucet. So after 10 years of being subjected to this, and another girl, Leslie Cartermanch, made an appointment with the mayor and went to speak with him about it because we found out that he was building a golf course um, on the watershed just directly up this little hill from the water supply. So I knew, as politicians, when politicians get this type of thing in their teeth and it's part of their legacy, nothing will stop them. You could do anything and it would still not stop them. It would still be built. So anyway, he targeted me. He listed me. He put my name on the list as a violent offender and my head landlord. You know, he joined in because he was best buddies with um, the mayor. But when I told him at the meeting, he asked me where I lived, and I told him 50 Warren Street, and he went, and it was the strangest thing. I thought, this guy is fucked. Why is he reacting like that? He goes, ooh, like that. And he knew right then that he was going to fuck me over, that he was going to destroy my life piece by piece, and that he didn't even have to lift a handle. He could leave it all up to my HUD landlord and the maintenance people, which he did. I was out of my apartment, lost my vehicle, lost my job. I'm a dental hygienist. See this? I broke my teeth, and I have several other broken ones that through the years they've broken as punishment. They know that as a dental hygienist, your teeth are important to you. So they went after what's important, as usual. Anyway, see all this? This is all because of them. It's not because I've gotten old. I had beautiful skin. And then they started pulsing my face, and this is what the pulses did to me. Anyway, to get back to the point, um, I've moved out of Peabody. Thank God. God, I was so glad to leave. The town is, I mean, the shit that they pulled on me was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I moved out of town, and it followed me here. And of course, they've used mind control on the people around me to malign my reputation. And that's what I want to talk about, really, is the word paranoid. Because if you're paranoid, you feel like everyone's after you, right? You feel like the world is against you. At least that's what I understand it to mean. And um, whether somebody is there or not, you're paranoid. And what it does is it covers the crimes of what is done to you. For instance, I had the cops after me in Peabody, and the mayor died. The mayor Peter Trejan died, and his daughter Laura Trejan lived up the street from me with her husband Rick the Dickhead Nelson. Now you got to remember, I lived in a circle, like an oval, and everybody around me, in every house around me, was affiliated with the police department or the fire department. So I had all first responders and their mates living around me. Paul and Stephanie next door, their son became a cop because uh, they sided with David Diet Chisholm, lived across the street. He was a meter reader for the city, and he was under Trejan's thumb and under Laura Trejan's thumb, because his father was a cop. Rick Nelson's brother is a cop on the department. Now, um, let's see, Babe Johns, I think her name is Johnston. 2 houses up, her husband was a cop. He died. Just on and on and on. Anyway, as time went on, the whole street was after me. And what they do is they tailor the narrative to fit the person. In other words, they set it up so that the Jewish girl across the street, she got the impression I hated Jewish people. So they held, she got furious at me, wouldn't talk to me, hated me after that. I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. I never hated Jewish people in my life. I don't approve of some of their behavior, such as what Israel's doing to the Palestinians, but I don't hate them. So the word paranoid is used by government, pedophile, prostitute, you name it, anything negative that they can think of, they'll use against the target, whomever the target is. And this works. And then they mind control them, or they trigger the person that they've told to malign the reputation. Like right now, I was mind controlled to send this text message to this person whom I've become friendly with. They don't want that. The text message sounds Looney Tunes, and that's the way they want it. I didn't write it. Anyway, this is how it works. They turn everybody, including your family, against you using this method. Maligning your reputation. Oh, she's paranoid, don't talk to her, she's crazy. Then when you go and you complain to the psychiatrists who are in on it, they're the ones that are working for government, a lot of them, or the medical establishment, are also a part of it. You're fucked. And they do it on purpose. And this maligning, this, say, paranoia, covers their crimes. They can come into your apartment whenever they want. They can destroy your furniture. And if you complain to anybody, it's like, oh, she's paranoid. And it lets them off the hook. It lets them walk away from whatever is going on with you. Because a lot of people don't want anything to do with this. But let me tell you, a lot of people don't realize that I'm just in front of you in line. This is going to hit everybody in the United States and globally. This is a global program. And how it works is the orders come down from the feds, and it goes to the states, and you fed into the computer anything they want. And then it goes to your local establishments, your local police, your local fire department, any first responder can pick up on it. And that's what they do. And they put into that computer whatever the fuck they want about you. And then it covers their crimes. Not your crimes, not my crime. Because I'm not a violent person. I don't do crime. I don't have to do crime. I wouldn't do crime. You know. So they go and they set it up so that certain people are after you in your community, and this intensifies that. And they're very sneaky about it. It's very hard to prove it, so that it covers what they do, um, and it intensifies your diagnosis by some asshole. See, when I was diagnosed paranoid, I went to see this psychiatrist, and at that time I had no money. I had zero to support me. And what happened was they sent me to this guy, and I walked in. I had my father's briefcase in it because, as a target, you have to carry with you the things that you don't want them to destroy, because they'll walk in and whatever you care for, they'll destroy it. Laptop, they'll go into it and fuck with it. Your phone, they'll go into that. All your electrical components, anything that they want. I've had so many things destroyed here by maintenance at Ipswich Housing Authority. They feel that they have open sesame to my door and can come in here anytime they want, and have, including others. So anyway, what so if you go to the police and you complain to them, they're gonna pull you up in their computer and say, "Oh, you're paranoid." Well, it's just Looney Tune, and ignore exactly what you say. You know, that's what they do, and that keeps you as a target, and that keeps you at their mercy. And that's how the government has worked it. They did this in Vietnam too. The Southern Vietnamese who were uh, obviously in the American side, supposedly, but they supported their unification of their country. They used each other. They used neighbor to neighbor to it was called the Phoenix program, and it's like the Stasis used it too. They played people off against each other, and they suppressed the whole population that way. And that's what they're doing in the United States today. They started with in HUD in the 80s, and SWAT went into HUD under Operation Safe Home and cleaned them out of criminals and rapists and anyone they wanted. And then after SWAT left, the landlords and maintenance were given the responsibility of reporting people for violent offenders. And that's what Region did to me. They set it up at my address, my landlord and the maintenance people, that I was a violent offender, and then they threw me in the hospital and had me examined by this psychiatrist. His name was Alan Walcott. And I asked him who he was, and I asked him what his job was. He said he worked for the government. His only job was to ride around the country at a taxpayer expense and interview people for a propensity for violence. So we sat there, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and talked. And he said I had a low propensity for violence, and he was wrong because I'm not a violent person. But you know something? They're pushing me to the wall, and and everybody has their breaking point. And a lot of these people who have gone out and killed groups of people, like at the schools and everything, that's all affiliated with the against the NRA. That's all affiliated with government. That's all mind controlled. That's your Manchurian candidates, because they can do it. Believe me, they can do it. And what they're doing is they're trying to get gun control because the government doesn't want an armed militia. They're they're afraid of an armed militia, and they should be. They should be very afraid of the people because they've been fucking up for so long. The other thing is the intelligence agencies. Through the Snowden papers, I've been reading them here and there. And the Snowden papers are very interesting, and I recommend everybody should go and explore them. And what I read in the Snowden papers, thanks to Susie Dawson and her explanation of a lot of them, because they're like in this jargon, you know, the military uh, complex, industrial complex jargon. And what it said in there was that the way that the intelligence agencies is going global is they're going to, I think they've got, I'd said 100 countries who are cooperating with NSA over this. And what they're doing is they're saying to the uh, intelligent companies of other countries, we'll give you information on this person or this group that you're interested in if you allow us access to your satellite, and you allow us access to some of your intelligence, blah, blah, blah. We'll trade. But what happens is NSA through the CIA and what was the other one? I don't know. I can't remember. Um, they they'll go into these agencies and they'll scavenge everything they can. They'll use their satellites whenever they can, which I normally ask them to leave it open. Then they teach them the Phoenix program and how to suppress the population. And that's what's going on in a lot of countries today, like Germany, Sweden, Denmark, a lot of them. The UK is using it. Australia, the Five Eyes, New Zealand, Canada, they're all using it. Like I said, there's about 100 countries. I don't know the names of the rest of them. Those just off the tip of my head. Poland's another one. A whole bunch of them, small ones. But anyway, this is what is going on as far as, say, the word paranoid. It is a maligned, negative narrative weapon used against you to so that the people who are doing this, they call themselves community-based agents. Agents is used to make them think they're smart, and all of this is done to put you in a bad light. Look at what they've done to my face. I hate them. And this is what they've done. And this is how they're controlling people. And this is how they're controlling me here. You know, they write shit, trigger me. I write it, send it to whoever they want. And then I'm the bad guy. You don't see them. You don't see what they do. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that subject. And I certainly hope that um, uh, that gang stalking and targeting and uh, let's see, uh, medical diagnosis tags will bring this up. You have a good day. Here it's raining, which is okay with me, and we'll see what happens. Thank you very much, and I'm so sorry this happened to me, and I'm so sorry this happened to my country. Um, I think this is a totalitarian state. Knowing what I know about these devices and the capability of what they can do to control a person, I know this to be a totalitarian state. See, everybody doesn't know about them being able to pick you up and throw you downstairs in a controlled fall, or body slam you in a controlled fall. The cops called out a specialist to do that to me. They were mad at me because I told them they weren't heroes because of 9/11. They felt that this is Peabody, they felt that they could, um, because they wore the uniform, they were heroes. You know, everybody pulled their full lock when they walked by, and yay, heroes. And they loved the adulation. So, and I told them no, you had to do something heroic to be claimed a hero. So anyway, they body slammed me. They sent out a specialist. They even did it in front of a nurse's house in case they really hurt me. They didn't want to kill me. They just wanted to shock my system and just punish me. And they did. They didn't want to give me a. They didn't want to crack my skull. So when I landed like this with my arm underneath my head and my body on my side because they didn't want to crack my skull. Anyway, end of story. If anybody wants to communicate with me or talk to me, my email is memoir65@yahoo.com, and put paranoia in the subject matter, and I'll know where it's coming from. Thank you. Have a good day.